I think we're gorping. Hey, everybody. What's up?
Hi.
What we're gorping here. My name's Josh. I'm joined by some other humans.
Julie over here.
Jessica.
And, of course, we're joined by the mighty and powerful.
Vacation.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Nice. Blessed. Be blessed, everyone.
Blessed.
What are we doing this week, Josh?
Here on the Gorp, we're talking about self-care. And I'll just admit, I think I'm the least qualified to speak on this. But, Julie, don't you have some sort of guide for the episode?
I do. So we're going to be doing the 8 dimensions of self-care. So I got
our topics
a
is
little
going to be one of the dimensions,
right.
Correct?
One of the dimensions, correct. And so I got a source from chawari.org. That's CHWARI.org.
A website that we don't know how reputable it is, but we're going to go with it.
It's not the only one I found this little will on. So
okay, so this is like a blanket thing that other sites, we just chose this one for some reason.
It's a .org. I mean, that's the money.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
that's almost Gorp backwards.
I did really well in school.
The .org people. They're not all good. Anyway. So we are going to be guided by what are they, Julie?
The 8 dimensions of self-care as defined in the oh shoot, I already forgot. But one of the psychological indexes.
One of those.
Proceeding, sir. Yeah. I forget what it's called or I'd tell you right now.
Yeah.
All right. So in the spirit of self-care, looking for a box this week, I was like, what am I going to use? One of the things that I like to do for my own mental health when I need to breathe, but also want to make myself pretty, is I like to do my own hair. So I pulled out the Lunar Tides box that I keep all my hair dye in. Currently the hair dye is not in there, and instead we have some, our 8 dimensions.
Oh, there's so many
inside
dimensions
this
in that
beautiful
box.
hollow box, which is
so
also
pretty.
why it makes me happy, because how could those sparkly rainbows not make you happy?
Oh, yeah. Jazz up your day right away.
I like it.
Okay. So let's get started. First dimension, not topic. We're entering the dimension of social self-care.
Oh, social.
Social self-care. All right. We
Social
have that
self-care.
defined as developing a sense of connection, belonging, and a well-developed support system.
A well-developed support system. Okay.
It's got to marinate.
I feel like that's an interesting topic, especially for someone like me who moved across the country from their family. And most of my family is still back on the East Coast. So I definitely had to build my own kind of social network and places to feel safe and confident and, comfortable going to in a time of need. It's not easy, especially when you're not from a place, let alone from across the country. So I think that's definitely interesting, a big part of that. And I'll throw this out there. I was watching a video recently where someone was explaining their thoughts between the differences of introverts and extroverts. And they were like, extroverts get energy from talking to people. That gets them going. That's how they thrive. Whereas introverts are almost drained by interacting with people. And it's not to say that they don't like it or enjoy it, but it's just they almost need to recoup after doing it.
Yeah, me for sure.
So I feel like, especially as I get older, I'm falling more and more into my introverted self, where I kind of just want to stay home and watch TV and hang out with my cats and hang out with my boyfriend. But you still need to keep that social network around, because people are important and they're great. So you definitely have to work on that. And I I definitely struggle doing it because of how busy I am, I feel. And I feel like the best ways that I make time for that are just, getting dinner with people. Because that is something where you're going to do it anyway. Like, you have to eat every day. So if you could do it with people that you care about, people that are in your life, that support you, that you support, that's one simple, easy way where you can all connect and come together and show each other that you want to be a part of each other's lives. So I'm super glad that we're not in a pandemic anymore and I can do stuff like that, because it is really hard to be social, especially during the pandemic where you can't go and see people. And I feel like interacting with people via Zoom, as we very well know, since we don't do this show together, it's not the same. It's not as like cohesive or, it's a different kind of vibe.
Absolutely. Like your electrons aren't communicating at all, Gotta have them close so they can.
Yeah.
I did a lot of rambling.
The transfer of energy is not as easy in this space.
And when you're with people, if the thing of like what you're doing is kind of the vibe is dying or whatever, you'd be like, oh, let's go here. Let's go do this. Let's change what we're doing and go do this other thing. Whereas when you're on the computer with someone, are you going to be like, let's go do something else,
Right. That's a good point. I try to take. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Jess.
I was going to say, I do a lot of my socializing, like, on Xbox. Like, that's how I talk to all of, like, most of my friends is through Xbox. And we game, and it's not the same as if, like, it's a Zoom call, but I'm like, okay, let's stop playing Call of Duty for a little bit. Let's go mess around on Fall Guys and be ridiculous. And just, and that's how I do a lot of my socializing, because if I had to put pants on, I don't want to leave the house. Like, I don't want to. But I've known all of the people I've gamed with. I've known them for at least 10 years. So they know everything about me. They know my background. I know theirs. Cool. So even if we're having like a rough day, we're able to just kind of just chat and like check in. And if I don't hear from them, like in our group chat, I'm privately messaging them, hey, are you alive? Like, what's going on? I haven't seen you on games in a while. So it's just, that's how I do my socializing.
I'm not great at it.
It's too much pressure to keep up with people.
Yeah, it's like a 3-person max at one time, and even that's stressful. Like if you're catching up with an old friend, but then you also talk to this one group, and then you're trying to also have a discussion with your brother or whatever. Like that's 3 text chains I got to keep up with in one day. It's too much, bud.
I think it becomes too much because you're like, could this have been a phone call? Number one. And number 2, I don't know, if you wanted to like just catch up kind of thing, it's hard for me to do that during texting. Right. I'm always running around and trying to get stuff done. Even when people are texting me like business questions, like I'm doing work, I will open it and like get distracted and then forget that they texted me. So I would be the worst like digital socializer.
I think it's this like idea like you're a different person for different people, right? So like aren't always able to tap into that part of you when someone is reaching out, and it's like I'm just not there right now to think about our relationship and what I'm like am to you right now. Is that just me? Okay.
No.
Like you have a different vibe with like your parents or whatever, and then another one with a high school friend, and another one with like your best friend. Yeah. Yeah,
it's just like that's too many energies. Diversity's good, right?
Josh, what are you doing for your social self-care?
I think the go-to is there's a bar down the street, and they're cool people, the regulars. Then I do have a couple of text channels that go, like about 4 friends, 5 friends total. That's about it. Try to keep up with my brother.
So you're basically cheersing it. Really your exciting. Self-care is like, I want to go to the local bar where everybody knows my name and just talk to them.
Yeah, I mean, as far as lately, there's not much to do around here. I live in a dirt field. So that's kind of the easy route, but there's really nothing else to do. I don't really have gaming friends. Whenever I play video games, it's like sparse. So I don't like scheduling online, like meet you at 8. this is hard enough. But yeah.
This might sound so terrible, but something I've noticed is part of my social self-care is actually something I have to do for myself afterwards.
Yeah.
Where again, like I love being social, I love hanging out with my friends and doing things and being out, like, you know, YOLO, fear of missing out kind of thing. You don't want to not be included. But I always notice that I am that kind of person. I feel very drained after it, like, so I need to like immediately come home, smoke a huge bong hit, and then probably need to like decompress and watch TV for a while. And that gives me like the life to be able to be out socially and like not a crazy person.
Well, I'm definitely 50-50
I get that. Like
there,
I was just home for a week. So
sorry, go ahead, Jess.
oh, sorry. I was just home for a week, and I saw family. We went out and did stuff like every single day. And when I got home, I was like, I'm gonna go stay in my room and read by myself. Leave me alone. I'm done. Don't talk to me. Don't text me. I will not be on video games. I'm done. Like, I was so drained socially.
Oh, I was like, so for social interaction in general, going to the bar is, you know, the easiest way to do it around here. But I'd say more than half the time I just go home and sit with my dog. Like that's equally as rewarding to me. I guess that whole, like, you're half and half sort of extrovert, introvert. I'm sort of like that, but I think everyone is to an extent.
Animals, always the answer. Animals are always the answer.
Animals are the answer. Fluffy stuff. Yep.
I have one fluffy stuff right here. Oh, there. It just kind of looks like one of my stuffed animals, but I promise it's real. And then the other one is
Baby Yoda's
there
real.
Somewhere. I promise. Yeah.
That's what's up.
All right. Okay, on to the next.
Let's hit the next dimension.
Dimension that we are entering. The Twilight Zone. No, I'm kidding.
The second dimension.
The physical self-care dimension.
Ooh.
Where are we going?
What are we doing these days, Julie?
Oh,
Julie.
you don't want a personal account. It'd be TMI. As my naked girlfriend sits next to me.
Oh yeah, we're getting a little fallacious, huh?
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, fiance. I just got corrected. So physical is recognizing the need for physical activity, diet, sleep, and nutrition.
Which of those are you doing? The sleeping? That's what I'm doing.
What?
I'm doing the sleeping where you don't sleep. So that's my physical activity for the moment.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta admit, gym membership. Have I gone yet? No. But
I finally started using my gym membership again. The girl is real sore.
Nice.
But putting in effort once more.
That's what's up. Good for you.
Okay. Get it. Which gym? Do you do Planet Fitness?
Sometimes.
That's cool. I like it. Yeah.
See, I just did know, and I have to do the classes. I can't just go to the gym for the most part and do my own thing. I don't feel like I'm equipped enough and knowledgeable to be like effective in giving myself a workout. Also, I need the competitiveness of other people around me where I'm going to be like, I'm going to do this better than you.
Yeah, that's nice sometimes.
I'm going to kick that bag so hard. I love that.
Is that good for my it might be good for my physical spiritual health, but it might not be great for my mental spiritual health.
I think mental's good. Social, maybe not. If you're next to the person, giving them the ugly eyes. I'm gonna do this.
No, but
better.
I do kind of look like hella serious when I'm working out, only because it is real hard to breathe through all of that.
Yeah, it is not a pretty thing.
What about you,
were
Josh?
so
what are you doing? Oh, what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say, it's just such a vulnerable place to be in that room with all those people, working out. Especially you just never know what stage people are in those. So you're like, am I gonna suck? I don't know.
So maybe going to the gym is also really good for your social spiritual health
exactly.
Oh yeah.
because it forces you
for some
to
people,
like,
it's their whole life.
be more comfortable and
That's
like
true.
around people and be like, well, this is who I am and this is my body and this is what it does and I don't care who sees,
Yeah.
We
Love
just
what you
tapped into
got.
spiritual.
Yeah.
Also,
I
teaches
don't
you to
go to
be
the gym.
nice
I
to people
do.
because you
Borderline
can't be
cult
rude to
now,
people.
so.
What did you say?
I mean, like the CrossFit
It's a cross-
organizations, the people that go there, that's what they fucking do. And that's very social. I mean, it's maybe an example of too much social for some people. Like they're overdoing it. But overall, I'd say it's pretty healthy.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not doing CrossFit.
And what's wrong with working out? No, not me. But
No, not you. So what are you doing?
mostly lately just walking the dog. But when I move back to Oklahoma soon, YMCA's got a big old pool, and I love swimming. I can't wait. I've been day dreaming.
That's awesome.
Oh, swimming
I
is
used
great.
to swim every day. Yeah,
Yeah, I think getting
I want to
out
stretch more.
in some kind of element is a great physical, like spiritual, connection, clarity. Water is great
For sure.
in my opinion. I'm always like a water baby, but also just, getting out in
Love it.
nature, hiking, being in the fresh air, being around the trees
Yeah,
is also not only physically good for you, also mentally, get that clarity. It can also be a social
Oh,
thing.
yeah.
There's plenty of times I've gone hiking with like friends or other people, and that was a way to connect with them. You're out in the elements, you're not on your phones, you're talking, and you're having an adventure.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Or like here,
Yeah, I do.
sorry, close to me, there's the incline, and it's just stairs that go straight up the mountain. It's a very social thing because everyone, I mean, people hear about it the world over and come to do the incline. It's just this really long staircase, and it's a great view at the top. And I still want to do it. Hard work, but everyone goes there. So like you see all these people doing the same thing, like same goal in mind, climb the staircase. Yeah, pretty cool.
Nice. Yeah, I don't go to a gym, but I do like beach body, like boxing and like weightlifting programs in my bedroom. And
She's
then
a pound
I
out her
recently,
anger.
I do. I like punching things. And then recently I started liking kayaking, just like sitting on a lake and just like kayaking along. It's so
That must make
it's
you
so
feel
relaxing,
hella
but-
strong.
It like the next day, like my whole like
That's
my
the
shoulders
core.
and like my back are just like dying. I'm like,
But like even in
it was
theory,
fun.
but like even in theory, the act of having to like kayak, you're like fighting the elements. Like that's how it works. That's
It's a good time.
empowering.
It's fun.
Yeah.
I'm so excited. We're gonna get kayaks next year, and just because we have lakes all around us here in Utah, so it's just nice to be able to load up the kayaks and go on. So
Yeah.
I'm so ready for next year.
Cool.
I love kayaking.
All right, moving on. We are entering the financial dimension. I don't feel like I should start
Financials.
this conversation. I feel like I'm the worst person for this. This is where I fail epically.
What is financial self-care?
Yeah, what is that,
would
Julie?
be, well,
Oof.
the goal of it would be to have satisfaction with current and future financial situations.
Welcome to the recession, ladies and gentlemen.
What future?
I eat food every day. That's good.
Yeah.
I'm
I
feeling
eat
good
so much
about
food, Doug.
that.
I can only really speak for me personally, but I feel like maybe none of us are super, happy with our financial self-care.
No.
No,
I mean-
no, but would you? Does
we're
everyone
planners.
here have a little money aside for their next pedicure, for instance? Like, do you have that just on the spot? Like, maybe I'll get when I have money this week, or like, do you actually? I do that sometimes, not every time, but save it for a tattoo,
Well,
whatever.
I want to hear what Jess was going to say because you were about to go into saying
Oh.
that you were a planner. So I think that's
We're
interesting
planners.
because that would
So-
kind of be how you financially are, take care of yourself in a sense is
Yes.
by doing that, right?
Yeah, we're planners. So I started putting it in my 401k when as soon as I got my job, and my company matches the amount. So I have like a nice little bit in that account. And then my husband has his thrift savings plan account, which he's been putting into for like 16 years. And if we ever needed to withdraw from that, we're able to, like, if we were like, oh, let's just pull out some, like, it's like a smaller interest loan basically that you take out on your own stuff. And instead of having to like pay the bank back with the higher interest rate, you're just paying it back to your own self, and you just pay it off as like from the paycheck. So we're planners. Like I wouldn't say like our finances are great, but like we know exactly what's going on at any point in time within our finance and all of that stuff. And we just and we did recently start talking to like a finance advisor who kind of helped us like prioritize our spending so we can start saving for like, there's research done that I guess if like spouses die, that the living spouse spends at least $50,000 in like self-care like purchases just to feel better. So we're saving for that too. So like it's just
wow,
like it's crazy. I don't know.
But in a sense, you're at least taking
garbage.
the steps to care for your financial, situation. It's more than I can say. As a college student, it's not super easy to be financially sound, unfortunately. But I'm super grateful and lucky that I have a wonderful, caring family that loves me very much, and they're going to make sure I don't end up on the street. So, thanks, Mom and Dad.
PSA. I love it.
No, it's definitely super difficult at this stage in my life to care for my financial situation. One, because I don't have a lot of time to work because I spend a lot of time in school. And two, because I don't have a degree yet. I don't have a, career driven job. I don't make a salary. I currently work as a server. You don't really know how much you're going to make every paycheck. That's kind of going to be a toss-up, and it's really hard to plan when you don't actually know how much you're making. That being said, I probably spend more than I should on things that I probably don't need. But it's kind of like that treat yourself thing where you just need those little
self-care
victories to keep you going until you figure it out. And we'll get there. It's going to happen. I'm not super worried, but, it is what it is currently.
Yeah.
I'm still going to buy a ton of nail polish. It's not going to stop.
That's your self-care.
Yeah, cinnamon lip gloss. I buy one every Sunday.
You gotta budget for the things that make you happy. So,
what about you? You've got 2 little ones. How do you do it?
Me?
Yeah.
I got 3.
3? Oh, my bad.
Yeah. So it is. It's just a huge mess. We finally, my partner and I just got engaged. Sound the alarm.
Congratulations. That's great.
Thank you. So we finally did the budget. And we're like half of our income is paying off stuff, and then the other half is kind of not really dedicated to anything, but also it's for the kids. Like it's just like all that money. Or
and then I'm sure you probably want to save for like college for them and stuff too. Their future as well.
Yeah. Well, it's just such a new situation, with my partner. Like, I'm like putting it all out there. Sorry, babe, because she just like officially got divorced like 2 months ago. So it's like they're applauding.
That's a wonderful thing.
So yeah.
We're not stigmatizing divorce. It's okay to get divorced.
It's okay to get divorced. It is. Unless it's with me, and then it's not okay.
It's not okay.
But yeah, so, we're still trying to figure out our finances and what really is going to go where. But right now, I think we finally have a good handle on what, like, yeah, like what is the actual like utilities and stuff. That's not a good answer. I was not prepared for it as well as I thought I would be. We legit just went over the budget last night. But things are good.
That's how you did it. You came up with a budget and you're planning for how you're going to make that happen.
But that's great.
Here's like a fact that will probably help y'all understand more is that I have a bit of a sugar mama, and so like I'm not taking care of myself very well, but she is taking very good care of me.
Well, someone's got to do it.
So that's
I think
me
that's
in a
great.
nutshell.
You know, you have a plan. You're working at that plan. Now, for those of you that do plan, unlike me, who's just like, well, I don't have anything anyway, so I'm just going to spend the little money that I do have regardless.
Right.
When you like veer off of your plan, and not because like, oh, we had an emergency and we had to like go to the hospital and spend all this money, but like something that you guys just kind of want. Do you ever like veer off your plan and like, let's just do it. Let's just, you know, get this one thing, do this one thing because it'll be much better for us than like, okay, we'll have it later and maybe we won't have as much of it.
Yeah, I think we probably too often veer off that plan. So
yeah, same.
But we're working on it.
So do you like beat yourselves up over it, or do you like accept it? Or you're okay with it?
I think
Treat
it's
yourself.
Right. There's a Buddhist saying that I really like a lot, and I can kind of apply it to this, which is like, you're perfect as you are, and there's always room for improvement. So like, no matter what you're doing right now, like is okay. And you can also work on it. So no, we don't try and beat ourselves up too much.
Yeah. That's the ultimate.
I think that's the
there,
best part is like, if you can still, you know, we planned and we're going to try really hard to stick by the plan. But if we, you know, we don't do it 100%, like not beating yourself up over it, I think is super important, you know?
Yeah.
Totally. Totally. Yeah. That's something I've dealt with, is changing the narrative in my head to just being okay with what happened, you know, being okay with being lazy today.
Right. That's self-love right there.
It's so hard to change that narrative in your head. You're like, oh, I'm going to be lazy today and just be a potato. No, my body clearly needs to not do things today. And we're just going to, we're going to go with it and not feel bad and not feel like have like all the crazy body issue things that happen in your brain. But like, just your body needs the rest. Your brain needs the rest. Just do it. And if I'm going to spend $7 at Starbucks for coffee, I'm going to freaking do it sometimes.
Yeah.
For that pumpkin spice, I'd do anything. So I get it.
All right, y'all. Moving on. Our next dimension.
Okay.
Emotional self-care.
Emotional self-care. That is defined as coping effectively with life and creating satisfying relationships.
Coping effectively with life.
Pass.
If one of you knows like the way to do that, you want to share it?
I think we're all just flying by the seat of our pants with this one.
I think that was, yes, very well said.
That's where you get life coaches. Yeah. Shameless plug at my new business endeavor. Get a life coach.
Where can they find you?
Well, we don't have our page up, but they can find me on Facebook, Julie Reagan, Julie without the E, Reagan without the E.
Yeah.
I have a little bit of wisdom to share.
So since we're kind of on the topic, I have to ask, in the realm of emotional self-care, does anyone here actually go to like therapy?
I need to.
Yeah.
I've downloaded BetterHelp.
Do you go to therapy?
Oh, nice.
I think every human should have it on a regular basis.
And how do you like your therapist? How do you like going to therapy? Do you feel it's helpful, conducive? Do you recommend it?
Well, so right now, I don't have my individual therapist. I go to couples counseling with my partner, and I 10 out of 10 recommend. Yeah, it is good stuff. It's a great way to, I mean, I think what I've noticed maybe about myself is in relationships with it, emotional being satisfying relationships, like it's so much about communication. I mean, everything in life is about communication, right? And so
Yeah.
that just like the way you emote something that you say to your partner, like even just like 30 minutes ago, like I told my partner we had to leave so I could come home and do the podcast, and she was upset, but the way that I conveyed it to her, like, was upsetting to her, right? So it was like, and for me, it was like owning that I was causing that kind of hurt. So yeah, it's just like, I don't know, it's constantly being vulnerable and confident at the same time. Maybe I don't know.
That's good.
Yeah. But that's not so the answer to therapy is 100%. It's all about just being comfortable with yourself, right? We're all a bunch of freaking weirdos, like just loving yourself.
Yeah.
So what about you? Do you go to therapy?
I think I asked that because for me, emotionally, when I'm feeling overwhelmed or stressed out a lot of the time, I feel like my answer is just like, I need to be alone. Like, I just need to not talk to anybody, not deal with anything. I feel like it's almost more overwhelming if I do. And part of me feels like if I talk about the shit that's bothering me rather than kind of work through it in my head, that it just makes me more like agitated in a sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which I know isn't necessarily correct. I know if I spoke to somebody, I'm sure I would kind of feel better in a way.
Well, I think that's how a lot of people deal with their stuff, and it's not necessarily unsuccessful. There's nothing wrong with that. I think it's just as important as going to therapy, or for some people, more important.
I think it can be detrimental, though, in a sense, because if I'm just working through my own problems myself, I'm not really getting perspective.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say, like,
that's good.
It's really hard to welcome someone into a space that you're kind of struggling in, right? Because then you have to deal with it. Like, what is causing you to step out of the limelight, avoid, like to actually talk about that makes it real. And that's scary. Like, even me, like, I did my spiritual coach training last week, and it was seriously like, as someone who feels somewhat spiritual, like, it's so hard to get into that place with someone, admit that there's something in your life that you want to change, and then like asking for accountability on it. Like,
oh boy, that's a lot of steps.
It's such a sacred place, and that's why I think, it is good to have someone kind of walking you through it, like that you can trust, but finding a good therapist or coach it's not easy. You have to find someone you jive with, but it is a sacred place. I think it's almost, it's a spiritual experience for sure.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Electrons, bro.
Do it.
Balance.
That's what I'm trying to say. Do it. Do it. Love yourself. Treat yourself.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not against it, but you're definitely right in the sense that the person matters a lot. Like, I used to go to a psychiatrist when I was in high school for like therapy sessions, and I don't know, I never really felt like comfortable really fully opening up to this person, but he was near my office, so I could go there after work and it was easy, and that's why I went there. But it wasn't really, again, if it's not the right person, I don't really feel like it's conducive, and that's why a lot of the times you end up going to somebody super close to you, like your partner or a best friend or something, and those people aren't really super equipped to handle all of your problems all the time. No. So I don't know that that's always the answer either.
It's quite the responsibility.
Because I definitely feel like I run to my boyfriend when I have issues to like vent and just like scream about something. I know in my head, though, I'm not going to him for like an answer or anything. It's just I need to like express my frustration to somebody. I think it gets detrimental when you don't look at it in a sense of, I just need to talk. I don't really care what anybody is going to say to me in response, because they might say something that's not great advice.
Right. Well, that's the greatest thing about life coaching that I learned over the course of our training, is that our goal is simply to like help you go wherever you want. So there's no opinions given, no ideas given. It's just like, helping you be comfortable in the space that you're in and working out whatever you want to work out. And it could be just you talking the whole time and having someone, I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm just really trying to spit my game right now. But it's a good gig.
Good.
It's a good gig. I mean, because
Awesome.
yeah,
That's exciting.
you have to like that. I think that's why it's a paid profession, is because it's someone that is holding space for you, like someone that you know is going to be able to kind of sit with you where you are, and that takes energy. That takes intention. So I was going to say,
I definitely think that that's great, but you need to find the right person for that. You can't just go to anybody for
Gotta
that.
jive.
Definitely feel free to go to your like friends and your relatives and stuff if you want to like vent. But if you're seeking like actual guidance or assistance, maybe look to some professionals like Julie
Yeah.
Reagan over here.
yeah. Well, my favorite psychologist, and I say that sarcastically, told me that I was self-righteous and idealistic, and that I should probably just find friends to talk to. And I was like,
Damn.
Oh my gosh.
this is not helpful. VA.
That was,
I don't know if I
It
should
is.
say
that
that.
makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
So I was like, he was like, call me in 6 months and tell me how it works out. What is
Damn.
happening? That
Mm,
fucked me up for a couple years too.
You gotta make a diss track.
Yeah. Diss track, what's that?
Yeah.
like your
Look at me
rap
now.
album to like talk
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
I need help with that.
Oh man.
But yeah,
So
so yeah, okay.
we're getting to
I-
the end of our
the next dimension.
episode. We do have quite a few dimensions that we have yet to explore. So if y'all want to pick one, we can do that. And Julie, you can tell us what the other ones are, maybe, and then we can like figure out which one we'd like to go off of.
Okay, sounds good to me.
So the ones that we have left are environmental.
Okay.
What does that mean?
That means good health by occupying pleasant, stimulating environments that support your well-being.
good.
Intellectual.
Is recognizing creative abilities and finding ways to expand knowledge and skills.
Occupational.
Is personal satisfaction and enrichment derived from one's work.
Oh.
Pass.
And then spiritual.
Spiritual is expanding our sense of purpose and meaning in life. I like that.
Oh,
Alright,
that's
so
a
what
good
are we thinking?
definition.
We've gotten rid of occupational. That seemed like our least favorite. That leaves us with these. I'm trying.
Environmental.
Intellectual was
Intellectual.
like creativity too.
Yeah, creativity and just expanding your knowledge base,
Expanding knowledge and skills.
knowledge and skills. Yeah,
I
Let's
like
go with that. It's
intellectual.
just an intellectual.
we haven't touched on
Brain
that. Let's
shit.
do it.
So what are you gonna teach us, Jess?
Yeah.
What would I teach you?
Yeah.
So when I
TED Talk.
do like creative thing, TikTok, I can do dances. No, I can't dance. I can't dance. I have no rhythm. When I think of like obviously I read. That's like a big way for me to like do that self-care escapism type thing. And then I like to call myself like a finder of hobbies. I have like a sewing machine, crochet hooks, the dot things, puzzles. Like I have so many crafts, and just because I want a creative outlet, but I can't stick with them long enough because I get distracted by something else. And I'm like, well, I made a chainmail bracelet. That's all I made. That's how I do it. I like looking up a hobby and like learning how to do it, buying all the stuff and doing it like once or twice and be like, and we're done. So
And we're done.
Yeah.
I'm a collector.
I like that.
I'm a collector of
That's cool.
skills and hobbies.
Yeah.
Yep. And I'm like, I like to call myself like a lifelong learner. Like I love learning new things. Like I'm in school again because I just had to be learning something because I got bored because I wasn't actively like absorbing new information. So I like to learn.
What did you go
about
back
you,
to
Josh?
school
Your
for?
grandpa was like that.
Industrial industrial organizational psychology. So it's basically, it's a fancy way of saying like workplace psychology. So I would be able to, like, ideally I would like to go into like a business or a company that's kind of struggling either within like the employees or with like management, and try to like find different methods to kind of help make it a better working environment for everyone.
Love that.
So,
Sweet.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's much needed.
it is.
Yeah, dude.
Very needed.
People do not tend to care
Frequencies and
about their
shit.
people. So, yeah.
What about you, Josh?
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
I do
Come
art
on.
stuff. Well, you said
Like
reading.
our
I listened to
fancy new
books.
logo?
And some research.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah. This one right
Yeah,
here.
like our
Logo.
fancy new logo, which I'm going to insert here.
Oh, you're gonna insert it. I was just gonna. Yeah.
It's so
So
bright
yeah, I did
and
that. I
happy.
found my iPad. I usually keep a canvas just going. Like I'll add to it. I do just expressionist, not expressionist, just abstract. Like there's no subjects to my paintings usually. So I just splash a little paint on it and walk away. So it just like develops over the course of a week or whatever. And I just do one of different things. Sometimes I'm drawing and sometimes I'm painting.
It's awesome.
How do you feel like that challenges your intellect?
I like that it bounces around. Like I don't just paint. Like I do it for a while, kind of like you, Jess, in a way. Like I'm learning new techniques as I go on how to use the brush and colors and stuff. It's just I'm always experimenting with it. So that's like a cool thing, like stretching the brain a bit. And it's like something I think about throughout the day because I have it going. So it's like I think a healthy place for my mind to wander.
I can draw a stick figure, and that's it. It's
I
I
had a
can't
nickel.
draw out of. I can't draw. I tried taking a class, and it did not go well. Nothing improved.
Yeah, but you know what's always fun that I think anyone can do is just like violently throw paint at a canvas. It's so much fun. Go out back with a tarp and just throw paint at it. It's fun.
I might
What
have
about
to do
you,
that.
Julie?
Trying to figure out how to be a good parent, like expanding my knowledge base on good parenting techniques.
We're just watching YouTube videos. What are we doing?
Oh, usually talking to my girlfriend and telling me, or my fiance, just like getting
La la.
that sort of background, like she's been doing it for however long.
Oh yeah.
But maybe as far
Yeah.
as like how I like the biggest, maybe the only thing that gets me like informed on the outside world and new stuff is the news, like watching ABC or something. So I need to step it up a notch. Is what I'm hearing myself say.
No, you're active, and so what? You don't paint.
I mean-
who cares? You're expanding your
I
skills and
think
your
the news
repertoire
is a
of knowledge.
part
I've
of
never been a painter. Yeah, I'm not I'm not
So
artistic
what?
in that way.
You don't have to be
what?
like a hobbyist
Yeah.
to have intellectual self-care. Television in general is a huge way that I intellectually take care of myself.
Mhm.
I love documentaries
Hell yeah.
are a huge part of my life.
Oh,
Whenever
awesome.
I'm doing things in my apartment or like kind of just doing menial work at my desk, I usually have some kind of documentary on. Generally, it's a cult documentary or like a true crime documentary, but
so
still a documentary.
That's
You
right.
still learn a lot, nevertheless.
You're learning how to not get killed. I like it.
I am learning how to not get killed or how
Yeah.
to kill.
Or how to
Yeah.
avoid joining a cult.
Right. Telltale
Oh.
signs.
It's almost unavoidable. The thing that I've noticed from watching the documentary is everything is a cult.
Truth. So true.
I like it.
So that's a big thing. I also watch
Dark
our other
history.
podcast, The Sad Fan. You can find us
Oh, the sad
on,
that I heard about them.
on YouTube.
Soon to be
Oh, yeah.
on audio.
Ooh. Moving on up.
Yes.
Yeah, perhaps
So
if you're good.
podcasts, documentaries, huge part. So
That's
yeah,
cool.
it looks like we're all in a good mood. We've all had our social self-care for the week or the day or whatever floats our boat. Come check us out next week. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, rate, review this podcast. Josh, tell them where they could find us.
Oh, on that Twitter, we're at the Gorp Show.
Oh my God, that's beautiful.
That was beautiful.
No, it's just Gorp Show. At Gorp Show.
At Gorp Show. Follow us.
Yes.
And then you can find Josh
Help us out
on.
with the comments, Oh, I'm just J.R. Berkeley on the gram.
All right, Jess, where can they find you?
Book a Straight Jess. I'm on TikTok and Instagram now. So
Go find her, hit her up, and give her suggestions of books that we should talk about for our adaptations episode.
Yes.
ooh, I'll put a video out today. I'll do it.
Julie, where can they find you?
On Facebook and Instagram, Julie Reagan. No ease.
And I'm at It's Taylor Stone on all the things. Come find us. Talk to us. Josh will answer all of your tweets and your posts. Come back next week to see what we're doing.
I'll do it.
Thank you so much for joining us, and we hope you have a great night. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.